Buongiorno, good morning. Welcome to Lago di Salasco. This is in northern Italy, situated between Milan and Turin. The lake's around 37 acres. There's swims situated on the north and southern banks. I'm on the northern bank, halfway down the lake in swim 12. Basically there's 16 swims, split half on the northern and the southern sides. That you can't fish the eastern or western banks. That's good. So you're just fishing opposite. There's, like I say, 16 swims. Some of them can be fished as doubles as well, so you'd have to check that out. Currently there's about 21 anglers on it. It's really popular. And then there's also another lake on the western side which has 4 swims on. The widest part is on the eastern end. I'm guessing about 300 yards, maybe a bit more. And obviously the narrowest is the western end. It's quite deep as well. It slopes off very quickly in the margins. I think it's an old sand pit, sand quarry. And sort of around the 30-40 yard mark you're getting 20 foot, and then slowly but surely it's just sort of gradually getting deeper up to the sort of 30 rap mark, which is about halfway for me in the middle of the lake, where I'm getting 30 foot, about 10 meters, 9-10 meters deep. So that's the lake. Stock wise, from what I've read, they say there's about 1,000 carp, so for 37 acres that's good, but I'm not sure if that's split over the 2 lakes. That could be possible. It could be, there's 700 in here and 300 in the back lake. I'm not really sure. But the main detail is there's 10 fish over 30 kilos in the main lake, so 66 pounds in English money, with the biggest being a common called Toro, 41 pounds or 41 kilos, or 91 pounds. So currently the Italian national record, and it was a picture of that common which obviously made me aware of this lake maybe 4 or 5 years ago. So I was quite keen to sort of get down here and have a go. Like I say, it's very busy. We actually contacted the lake direct via WhatsApp, and we booked this swim 2 years ago. And when we inquired about this, so we wanted this week particularly because it's my birthday week. That's it's quite a regular thing that we do. There was only 4 swims available, and that was 2 years ago. So we had 11, 12, and 13, and 16 to choose from. So I chose 12, which was middle of the lake, and just sort of go from that. And after a good lead around and so on, I'm actually just fishing off the bottom margins. So what I found is it's rocky, if you like, stony in the margin, up to about 30-35 yards, and then it starts petering out and sort of going sandy, silty, and then just gradually getting deeper from that. So I've got 2 at around 40, 10 wraps, and 1 I found a little gravelly patch at 14-15 wraps, just slightly to the right. I was casting into the middle. We was seeing fish showing out in the middle, but I got snagged up on something at 24 wraps a couple of times, lost the marker float, eventually retrieved that all in, kept leading around and got caught up on it again, but managed to get the lead free. And then on a third occasion I locked up on it and I couldn't get the lead free and lost that, and I just thought, whatever it is, it's not budging, and it's probably just too risky to fish out there. I just, you might not retrieve your rigs, and I think if you hook a fish or something, you'll probably be okay. But getting your rigs in, you might be chancing it a bit. So I just thought I'd fish close in. We've been seeing fish close along this line anyway, so I think it actually turned out to be quite a good approach. So really, that's Lago di Salasco. Behind us, we've got an amazing view of the Alps. This morning the view is just spectacular, with all the snow-peaked mountain range and that. It's just absolutely lovely. You've got your typical toilets and showers, the lodges with the fridge and freezers for your food and bait, charging points. They've got a little hut in there where you can order food from the local restaurant, pizzas and pasta and stuff like that, and they'll come round in the evening around 7-8 o'clock and deliver that to your swim. every evening, so that's fantastic. There's also next to the lake a swimming pool and a restaurant there as well, so you can walk around there and pay for the day to relax by the swimming pool on a sun lounger or under one of the brollies, and then just get waited on whatever drinks or anything you want, food, snacks. It really is nice. It's a family feel. You've got a lot of couples, families, kids, etc. People coming, staying in motorhomes. So all the swims, I think you can get a motorhome in if needed, if that's the sort of style of fishing you do as well. So, and the owner is lovely, and that speaks really good English as well. So that's good. So yeah. So basically, that's the intro. That's Lago di Salasco. Okay, so onto the tackle front and the rigs and that. So the first thing, I've got a couple of new bits I'm going to try out on this session. So the first one is actually the main line. I've been using GL60 for an eternity, and that. I fancy trying something different. I've had a couple of issues with the last couple of batches of the line. So I've gone and bought a couple of spools of the Ridge Monkey RM Tech Mono in 12-pound clear, which is 35mm. So I'll give that a go this week and see how it performs basically on the bank for me, and see if I decide to make the big leap and change for my fishing back in the UK as well. I use 15-pound 0.40 line because I fish quite snaggy and heavy weedy waters. So this water here this week is quite a clear deep lake, so I don't need to have such heavy duty line, hence going for the 12-pound 35.35mm. So that's the first item that I've changed. So on the rig end front, I brought a couple of new bits of tackle with me for this trip to try out. I've been hearing some good things about it on my syndicate back home in the UK. So the first is the actual hooks. So I've actually gone and got some Thinking Angler size 4 and 5 curve shanks. I'll probably use the 4s, or at least to begin with, on here, because obviously the fish go to 90 pounds. So you want something tough and reliable, make sure it actually stays in, doesn't open else or anything. But they actually do them in sizes 4, 5, 6 and 7, so I quite like that they do the intermediary 5 and 7 size, so that's quite interesting. I'll be potentially using those when I get back home as well. So yeah, we'll see how they perform this week. And then also it's their tungsten droppers, or tungsten beads basically, for on the rig. Well, it's Tuesday morning. I suppose it's about time I did a diary piece, let you know where we are. So obviously we arrived on Saturday late morning, and basically we could get straight into the swim. Someone had just finished doing a session, and then obviously got set up and leading around trying to find some spots and that. Most interesting for me really was the bottom of the marginal shelf, where it sort of transitioned from pebbly, gravelly margins into sort of sandy, silty area. So I've got a couple of rods on that, and then I found another sort of gravelly spot, another 10 yards further out. So that's where I started, and just sort of watch to see what the fish tell me, where they are, where they're showing. If I need to move a rod or anything like that, need to go long or anything. But at the moment I've been fishing fairly short compared to most anglers who are sort of launching it out 25, 30 wraps into the middle of the lake. And obviously watching the anglers to my left and right on that Saturday, and the anglers to my left, he had a few runs. I think he might have had 1 or 2 out of about 4 or 5 bites in a short spell on the Saturday afternoon, and noticed that he was fishing fairly close in as well, so that sort of bode well for me. And then the person on my right, he was fishing long, he had one in the night. But not many other people were having action really, so it took me till Sunday evening to have my first bite, which was a grass carp, about 33 pounds. I just took some pictures. I didn't really fancy putting video. I know they can be a bit funny. And Caroline was holding the net while I was trying to get everything ready, and he tried to launch out the net about 6-7 times, as they do. And that was it for the Sunday. And then obviously top the bait up. I'm putting about 2-3 kilos on each of the 2 spots. I've got 2 rods on one spot at 10-11 wraps, and 1 rod on another spot at 14.5-15 wraps. And then on the Monday, and then we had real major storms, thunder and lightning storms, went on all night long. Not much rain, a little bit of drizzle and that, but definitely cooled it down, made it feel a bit more comfortable. And then on the Monday it was sort of overcast, sunny, mid-20 degrees. Wind was swirling all around really. I then topped up the swim sort of lunchtime-ish, around 1 o'clock, and then redone the rods, so I was all set again about 2 o'clock. And then we started seeing fish showing not long after, probably about 3 o'clock. Started seeing a few shows on both spots, and then 4 o'clock the middle rod rattled off. We thought it was going to be the left hand because we kept getting little tweaks, a couple of bleeps, little semi-liners and so on, and then suddenly the middle rod just rattled off. And that was just a little common, but it was nice to get the first sort of carp, as it were, as opposed to a grassy. On my belt, it was about 10-12 pounds. One of the younger ones that they stocked in quite a few last year. So got that rod back out. I decided not to bait up. I noticed, interestingly, the local anglers on both sides of me all started spomming after I'd had that fish, and a couple of fish continued to show over my baited area after I'd had that little one. And while they were spomming either side, I could see it all fizzing. I could see there was a group of fish out there fizzing. Good 3 or 4 patches on the close-in spot and a couple of patches on the further out spot. And then literally about an hour later, the left-hand rod rattled off, and that was absolutely stunning. 33-pound mirror. If you have a look at the picture, the footage here now. If you can see that, folks, that's my 3rd fish. It's Monday. This is the reason why I come to Salasco. Look at the stunning fish this is. What an absolute creature. Italian beauty. 33 pounds. Fall into a monster's Hygonut snowman, 40 yards out, just on the end of the marginal shelf, basically. 20 foot. Yes. Want the middle rod out as I was playing it, but just flicked the bail arm over and sorted that out afterwards. Absolutely over the moon. First one was a grassy. I didn't fancy doing a video with a grassy, and the second one was a little common a couple of hours ago. But this is the first one for the video, for the cameras. Those pin scales, just absolutely stunning. Yes, thank you, Salasco. So yeah, that's where we're up to. I've not had any night bites, funnily. I thought I would do with the hot temperatures. It's 30 odd degrees in the day, and that absolutely scorching hot. Hardly any shade. It's hard to hide from it here. So I thought the night bites, but it does do night bites. That's the good thing about this lake. You can get a bite at any time, but it seemed to be, from the couple of days we've been here, that seems to be zones or periods of the day where some swims favour night and other swims favour the day. And it seems sort of afternoon, evening around here. But we'll see. Like I say, it's only a couple of days in. Now, hopefully they might prove me wrong, and I'll have some night bites as well. Okay, so this is the bait section. Just going to cover the bait that I brought round out here for this trip. So I brought pretty much everything I could think of. Makes a change for me. So on the body front, got the Monster Tiger Nuts in 15 and 18 mil, and Monster Tiger Nut red ammo again in 15 in this one. And I'm mixing the both up, basically what I'm putting out there. So just to put a nice mix of pink and white Tiger Nut out there, just give them something to think about. That's the boilie front. I think I've got about 30 kilos combined of the boilie. Pellets, I've got 6 and 8 mil Monster Tiger Nut pellets that I'm putting in the mix. And then on the particle front, I've got all the original frenzied, basically. So I've got the hemp seed, the maize, and the mixed particle jars. So I've got several jars of those with me, and I'm probably putting in a couple of kilos a day of that with the boilies, and good old Tiger Nuts as well. And I should mention on the particle and Tiger Nut front, you can only bring or use commercially prepared particles, or the particles that they make on site. So you can't bring your own that you've made at home. So it's got to be commercial or purchase here. You can order it in advance, or obviously order it, you know, each and every day that you need it. Finally, I've got some liquids. So we've got the red ammo liquid and the Tiger Nut liquid. I'm soaking up all the baits that the day before. And then I've got 2 oils as well. So I've got the hemp oil and the Tiger Nut oil that I'm putting in the mix, and I'm also on my sticks. I'm soaking up the PVA sticks in Tiger Nut oil as well, because it's quite deep water, as I've mentioned. And so also I'm coating the PVA stick just to help hopefully prolong the melting time, because I'm fishing probably about 20 foot, and then using the sweet and nutty active stick mix, just a long chuck, probably about 1 inch long, just placing that on the hook, and then coating that in the oil, and then casting it out and hoping that oil will delay, as I say, the melting time. So that's the bait basically that I brought and I'm using on this trip. So welcome to Lago di Salasco. So on the right here is the sort of office. It's where you check in, do all your insurance, your paperwork. It's where you can order baits. They've got clothes and so on. So let's go. Got a map of the lake there, and a board of all the fish. You see loads and loads. Nice scaly, stunning carp. Lots of commons as well, all sorts of different commons. Short, fat, long, dark, light, you name it. So you can sit in here out of the rain and the cold. And they've got the vending machines. And if you come out here, a nice little arbour, you can sit out in the shade, be nice and cool. And here you can see the depths. So if you check this out here, got the depths there. And you can see here, so this is the main lake, swims 1 to 16, and then you've got the little back lake, 17 to 20. Okay. And then in here is, you've got the vending machines, so you can have your cafe, you've got your chocolate and water and so on, and then you've got the fridge freezers for food, water, drinks and that. They've got a microwave if you want, got some ready meals, and a bait freezer. And over here you've got your charging points, as you can see, well used. Also they do, we've got them here, I don't think we've got any menus, but you can order out, they've got some menus, so you can order pizzas and pasta and so on and that. So yeah, when you come through the gate on your left, You've got this bike shed here, so you can pick up a bike and use that to go to and from your swims. Got the usual sink outside to clean all your stuff up, and then you've got 2 toilet and shower units here, all nice and cleaned out, and paper and out replaced every day, and there's 2 of those. So just coming off the lake and going next door. This is where you've got a restaurant. You've also got a swimming pool, sun lounger and that, so you can come in here. It's not part of the lake, but it's okay to walk through and order food, book and pay for swimming and stuff like that. So these are the swimming pool that you can pay and use for the day, all the sun loungers and that. And then beyond is, in front of us is the second lake. You can swim 17 to 20, the smaller lake at the back. Well, it's Friday morning, coming to the end of our trip now. Just got the night to go, so I just thought I'd do a wrap up basically, sort of tell you about the venue and how the fishing's gone. So firstly, obviously like to say thanks to Jessica and Marco for making us feel so welcome here. They're really nice, and the people here and the facilities, you couldn't really complain. So that side of things really, that's been fantastic. On the fishing front, I probably knew it was going to be a challenge. You've got to sort of choose your swims at the right time of year, really, as you do with a lot of venues before you come. We booked this 2 years ago for my birthday, so it's obviously limited to what swims, and I knew that we was going to be in for a bit of a challenge. There was only 4 swims available, and looking at all the catch reports and things like that, there wasn't lots of catches coming out of these swims, but still managed to have a couple. It started off at the beginning of the week okay, had a few, and then it went quiet. I'm not sure if it was me or the tactics. The fish just weren't really visiting the spot. They had on the Sunday, Monday and the Tuesday, and then Wednesday, Thursday went quiet. See the odd show, the odd bit of fizzing, but not in any great amount. And then obviously today's my birthday, hence why we're here. So I was hoping to maybe catch a birthday fish, but it was a catfish in the early hours, not really what I was wanting, about probably 3-4 pound. And I think there was a group of cats on the actual bait in the early hours, just up till first light, until it got a bit hot, and it's quietened off now. So just hoping for maybe we can nick something this evening or last night. But yes, so I guess on reflection, it is quite a hard water to sort of travel to. A lot of people travelling near enough a day to get here for a couple of fish. As opposed to what we experienced last year, where the fishing was quite good, but then I had the flexibility of choosing the right sort of swim at the right time. As I say, we was restricted with this one. So, but then the rewards are here. If you can get in the right swim at the right time, then there's some huge monstrous fish in this lake, and really nice, pretty scaly ones. Obviously, I've had a taster of that, but that low 30 gives you an idea of what's in here. But hopefully we'll return in a few years, basically.